Before you turn off the video, let me tell you something. I used to think hotel rooms looked perfect because they had some secret industrial strength cleaner I could never get my hands on. You know the feeling. Your own bed looks like a crumpled pile no matter how much you smooth it, and don't even get me started on streaky mirrors. I'd spend hours scrubbing, and the room still looked lived in instead of luxurious. But here's the thing. Hotels aren't using magic potions. They're using smart methods. And once I learned them, my house started feeling like one of those crisp 5-star suites. Stick with me, because the tips in this video will absolutely change how you clean, and the last one is the one nobody expects. By the way, where are you watching from? I love knowing how far these little homemaking secrets can travel. And while you're here, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss more of these time-saving tricks, because I promise, you'll actually look forward to cleaning once you see how much faster it can be. Now let's talk about the #1 game changer, the bed. Ever notice how hotel beds always look pulled tight enough to bounce a coin? That's not just for looks. It's called the hospital corner, and it makes a massive difference. Instead of just tucking sheets randomly and fighting with them the next day, you fold the end up, tuck it flat, and then pull the flap down over the corner like wrapping a present. It holds everything in place so the bed stays smooth for days. The first time I tried it, I couldn't stop walking past the bedroom just to admire how neat it looked. Here's a little insider trick. Always make the bed from one side. Don't run back and forth like you're in a race. Work down one side completely, smooth the wrinkles, tuck, and then move to the other. You'll save time and energy. And keep an extra set of pillowcases handy. You can swap them in seconds and instantly freshen up the whole room without washing every piece of bedding. Oh, and if you've got a bed skirt, it's not just decoration. It hides storage bins and anything else you don't want the world to see. Hotels do that too. And let's be honest, a made bed sets the tone. Walk into a room with a smooth, crisp bed, and suddenly the rest of the space feels calmer. Skip the bed, and it doesn't matter how clean the nightstand is. The room feels half done. But here's where most people go wrong. They think more cleaning products equal better results. Nope. Hotels don't drown every surface in sprays and foams. In fact, too much product actually makes things worse. It leaves streaks, sticky residue, and makes dust cling faster. The real secret? Dilution. A couple ounces of concentrate with water in a spray bottle does the trick. If you've ever noticed hotels have those little labeled bottles, that's why. They measure. No guessing, no waste. Want a natural option? Try sparkling water with baking soda for stains, anything from food to blood. Let it sit 15 minutes, then rinse or blot. I once saved a favorite blouse this way, and it felt like a miracle. For mirrors and glass, vinegar and water beats most fancy cleaners. Just remember, don't use it on stone. And if you hate the smell, add a drop of essential oil. Lemon or lavender works wonders. Here's the part most people miss. Stains should always be pre-treated. Don't rush in with scrubbing. Spray, soak, walk away. Come back later and you'll barely need to touch it. That little delay saves you scrubbing, saves the fabric, and saves your mood. And trust me, your arms will thank you. Now let's talk about the cleaning order. I used to wander the house randomly, wipe a counter here, vacuum a corner there, and by the end, I'd be exhausted with nothing fully done. Hotels never do that. They start with the toughest room first, the bathroom. It's the dirtiest and most draining, so you get it out of the way while your energy's still fresh. Then it's the kitchen, then the general surfaces. It's like tackling the hardest puzzle piece first. It makes the rest fall into place. And here's a little pro hack. Don't forget the hidden grime. Behind toilets, the track of your shower door, fan covers, light fixtures, appliance handles. You know those little spots you avoid until guests are coming over? Yeah, hotels clean those regularly, and it shows. Another clever move. Keep supplies where you use them. Bathroom cleaner in the bathroom, dust cloths in the living room, wipes in the kitchen. That way you don't wander around making excuses like, oh, I'll wipe that later, the spray's in the other room. Hotels can't afford wasted steps, and neither can you if you want speed. Do you already do this, or is this new to you? I thought I was being efficient carrying a big caddy everywhere, but honestly, it slowed me down. Once I split up my supplies, my cleaning time dropped dramatically. And hey, if this is helping, tap that like button. It's such a small thing, but it helps keep these tips coming. Let's be real for a second. Once you get into the rhythm of these hotel-inspired habits, it's almost addictive. You finish one room, step back, and suddenly you want the rest of the house to match. And honestly, that's the beauty of it. When you work smarter, not harder, the results motivate you instead of draining you. So let's circle back to that bed trick for just a moment because it ties into something bigger. Think about it. When you walk into a hotel room, the very first thing you notice is the bed. Not the TV, not the bathroom, always the bed. And at home it's the same. A perfectly made bed makes the whole bedroom feel instantly cleaner, even if there's a laundry basket hiding in the corner. That's why it's worth those extra 2 minutes. And if you really want to step it up, give the duvet a quick shake before you pull it over. It fluffs it up so it looks like it belongs in a magazine photo shoot. Now, let's head back into the world of cleaning products, because this one blew my mind. Did you know hotels often use just a handful of products for almost everything? Not 20 bottles like we keep crammed under the sink. More doesn't mean cleaner. It just means clutter and sticky countertops. And here's the kicker. Too much cleaner can actually make surfaces dirtier faster. Ever spray a counter and then notice it feels tacky afterward? That's leftover residue. Dust and crumbs stick to it like glue. The fix is ridiculously simple. Dilute. If you've got to concentrate, use just a couple ounces per spray bottle and fill the rest with water. Label the bottle so you never have to second guess. I started doing this, and suddenly one little jug lasted months instead of weeks. And bonus, no more random half-empty bottles rolling around under the sink like forgotten soda cans. For natural swaps, I'll say it again. Vinegar and water for mirrors, sparkling water and baking soda for stains. Hotels know pre-treatment is everything. Let the product do the heavy lifting. Spray, wait, walk away. It's the same principle as marinating meat. You wouldn't just slap on seasoning right before cooking, right? Give it time, and the results are better with half the effort. Here's where I'll sneak in a story. I once dropped tomato sauce on a cream-colored throw pillow. My first instinct? Panic and scrubbing. Big mistake. The stains spread and the fabric looked worse. Then I remembered the pre-treatment trick. Sparkling water, a little baking soda paste, let it sit, then blot. Gone. Honestly, it felt like a magic trick. And that's when I realized these hotel secrets actually work in real life, not just in a perfect staged room. Okay, now let's move on to cleaning order, because this one is sneaky but powerful. Most of us want to start easy, maybe dusting the shelves or wiping a kitchen counter. But that just eats up energy while the tough jobs are still waiting. Hotels flip the script. They start with the bathroom. It's the grimiest, the least fun, but once it's done, you feel like a champion. You walk out and think, well, if I can scrub behind the toilet, I can definitely wipe the coffee table. And speaking of behind the toilet, let's talk about hidden grime. You know those spots you pretend don't exist until you're expecting guests? The dusty fan cover above the shower, the crud in the shower door track, the fingerprints on the microwave handle. Hotels don't skip those because they know guests will notice. And at home, even if no one else notices, you know it's there. Cleaning those little secret spots makes your whole house feel fresher. Here's a quick trick I swear by. Once a week, pick 2 hidden spots to tackle. Just 2. It takes 5 minutes, and over time, you'll get them all without burning out. One week, it's the light switches and remote controls. Another week, it's the vent covers or baseboards. Before you know it, everything looks consistently clean instead of mostly clean with a few scary corners. Another pro-level move? Store supplies in the rooms where you need them. I used to lug around a giant cleaning caddy like some kind of traveling salesperson, but hotels keep bathroom cleaner in the bathroom, dust cloths in the living room, and so on. When the supplies are right there, you're more likely to use them. I'll wipe a switch plate or spritz the sink because the bottle is already waiting. No excuses, no procrastination. And let me ask, do you already keep supplies in each room, or are you still carrying one basket around like I used to? I'd love to know, because this tiny change might be the fastest time saver of them all. Now here's another little nugget that might surprise you. The order you clean isn't just about saving energy. It's also about momentum. When you start with the hardest space, everything else feels easier by comparison. By the time you're wiping down the kitchen counters, it feels like a breeze instead of a chore. And by the time you're fluffing pillows in the living room, you might actually be smiling instead of counting down the minutes. And just like that, you've knocked out the big three: bed making, smarter product use, and cleaning order. These are the foundation. Get these down, and suddenly everything else feels like bonus points. You're not just cleaning, you're transforming how your house feels. Here's the fun part. Once you've got the big pieces handled, it's the little details that make your home feel like it came straight out of a hotel. And honestly, these are the ones that make guests say, "Wow, your place looks amazing," even if you didn't spend hours scrubbing. Let's start with the most annoying culprit: fingerprints. They're sneaky, right? You can have spotless counters, freshly vacuumed floors, and then boom, one smudge on the light switch or the fridge handle ruins the whole vibe. Hotels know this, which is why touchpoint cleaning is part of their daily routine. A quick swipe with a microfiber cloth on switches, handles, and remotes takes seconds, but the payoff is huge. You'll walk into the room and it'll look fresh, even if you didn't do a full deep clean. And here's something I learned the hard way. Don't just clean around your stuff. That lamp base, that framed photo, dust loves to hide under them. Hotels always lift and clean. It's a simple habit, but once you start, you'll see how much dust you were missing before. I used to think, no one looks under here. Well, maybe no one does, but I know it's there and it makes the room feel heavier. Now, here's a shortcut for something we all put off: baseboards. Hotels can't let those get grimy, and neither should we, but bending down with a rag feels like torture. The fix? Vacuum them first with a brush attachment, then wipe with a dryer sheet. Not only does it clean, it leaves behind a light coating that repels dust. You'll go longer between cleanings. Honestly, it feels like cheating. But don't stop there. Think bigger picture. Every month, make a little detail list: ceiling fans, vents, window tracks, scuff marks on the walls. They're the things we ignore until one day we glance up and think, "Yikes, how long has that been there?" I like to pick one Saturday morning, turn on some music, and just knock them out. It takes less time than you'd think, and afterward, your house doesn't just look clean, it feels clean. Now here's something that makes me smile: eco-friendly swaps. Hotels are moving toward them, and they work even better at home. Got an old pillowcase? Don't toss it. Use it for mirrors and glass. It beats paper towels and no streaks left behind. Coffee filters? Perfect for screens and shiny surfaces. Dryer sheets? They tackle blinds and even soap scum. Newspaper on windows gives you that crisp, streak-free shine that even expensive sprays struggle to deliver. And those old t-shirts you've been hanging onto since forever? Finally, a good excuse to keep them. Cut them up for dusting cloths or wood polishers. Suddenly you're saving money, reducing waste, and cleaning smarter. And let's be real, using paper towels for cleaning sometimes feels ironic. You wipe a surface, and then you're left with little lint specks everywhere. With these swaps, you get rid of that nonsense. Plus, there's something satisfying about giving old items a new life instead of buying yet another special cloth from the store. Here's a question for you. Do you already repurpose things like this, or is this a brand new idea? I'd love to know, because sometimes the simplest tricks are the ones people overlook the most. And I can't skip over this because it's one of my personal favorites: the dryer sheet trick on baseboards and blinds. I did it once, thinking it was just another hack that probably wouldn't work, and weeks later they were still dust-free. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. The best part about these details is how fast they add up. You might think, oh, wiping a light switch won't make much difference. But string a few of these together, a switch plate here, a mirror there, a baseboard swipe, and suddenly your house has that polished, hotel-level finish without you breaking a sweat. So next time you're tidying up, don't just focus on the big stuff. Look for the little things, the smudges, the corners, the dusty lampshades. They're like the secret ingredients in a recipe. You don't always notice them individually, but take them away and the whole dish falls flat. Add them back in and everything just works. And hey, if you're enjoying these practical little secrets, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. That way, you'll always have a new trick up your sleeve for making home feel fresher, faster. All right, let's finish strong with the really surprising tricks. The ones that feel almost too simple to work, but they do. These are the bonus round hacks that hotel pros know, and once you try them at home, you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. Here's one of my absolute favorites, the lint roller floor hack. You mop, you vacuum, you stand back proudly. And then you notice little hairs and fuzz clinging here and there. Where do they even come from? It's like the floor grows them. Instead of re-cleaning the whole thing, just run a lint roller over the area. It grabs every little stray hair, even the ones your mop missed. It takes seconds, and suddenly your floor looks flawless. Now let's jump back to the bedroom for a quick wrinkle fix. Hotels don't iron every sheet between guests. They don't have time for that. Instead, they use a spray bottle with warm water. Lightly mist the bedding, smooth it with your hand, and let it air dry. It looks freshly pressed without touching an iron. I do this whenever I make the bed now, and it's shocking how crisp it looks. Plus, it feels pretty luxurious to crawl into. Speaking of the bedroom, ever notice carpet dents from heavy furniture? They make your room look worn even when it's clean. The fix is so simple it sounds silly. Ice cubes. Place a cube in the dent, let it melt, then fluff the fibers with a fork. The carpet springs back up like new. The first time I tried it, I stood there poking the carpet with a fork, laughing at how ridiculous it felt, and then gasping because it actually worked. Here's another powerhouse trick: steam on grout. Scrubbing grout lines is one of the most dreaded jobs, but if you take a steam iron and aim it at the grout, the heat loosens up the grime. After a quick pass with a scrub brush, the dirt practically melts away. What usually takes an hour can be done in half the time. And let's be honest, anything that cuts grout scrubbing time in half deserves a standing ovation. Now this one is quirky but brilliant. Bread. Yes, plain white bread. Press it onto walls where there are fingerprints or little scuff marks. The bread gently lifts the dirt without damaging the paint or wallpaper. It's like a homemade eraser. I thought it was an old wives' tale until I tried it on a smudge near the light switch. Poof. Gone. And no, it doesn't leave crumbs behind if you use soft bread. What I love about these hacks is how unexpected they are. They don't require fancy gadgets or expensive cleaners, just creativity. A lint roller, a spray bottle, a fork, a steam iron, a slice of bread. Things you already have around the house become secret weapons for keeping everything fresh and polished. And here's the truth: you don't need to do all of these at once. Pick 2 or 3 that sound the easiest and start there. Maybe it's the vinegar spray for mirrors. Maybe it's the lint roller on the floor. Maybe it's lifting decor when you dust. Once you see how well it works, you'll naturally add more over time. That's exactly how hotels do it. They don't waste effort, they don't drown in products, and they don't ignore the details. They use methods, not magic, and you can too. So the next time you look around your house and feel like it's overwhelming, remember, small steps, clever tricks, and a smarter order. You don't need hours. You just need a few hotel secrets. And who doesn't love living in a space that feels like a 5-star getaway, even if it's just your own cozy home?